If God came to you and said you had a choice as to whether or not your child was going to grow up to be chronically ill, or we just left it up to a simple...
The most you ever lost, according to us.
What would you do? Before you let fate decide, let me share this life-changing fact with you about chronic illnesses that nobody's probably ever told you. What if multiple sclerosis doesn't just happen? What if it starts decades before the first symptoms ever appear? Because as research is starting to show, it is starting to become clear. Trauma, especially childhood trauma, it rewires the brain. It weakens the immune system, it suppresses it, and it makes us vulnerable to disease. Diseases like MS and a lot of other autoimmune disorders. So if you have kids, you have to listen to this, because what you do right now could very well impact their physical health for the rest of their lives and be the difference as to whether or not they have a chronic, long-term illness. Now look, it is too late for me, but it is not too late for them, for your children. Parents have to quit thinking things like, well, kids are so resilient. My kids are tough.
Ain't nobody gonna hold his hand when he get out there in the world.
They'll be fine. We were. But were we?
I just want to be me.
You can't be nobody but who you are, Corey. That's all you got to measure yourself against the world out there. Your daddy wanted you to be everything he wasn't. And at the same time, he wanted you to be everything he was. Now, I don't know if he was right or wrong, but I do know he meant to do more good than he meant to do harm.
I mean, all of that is true. Kids are very resilient. They are tough. We were okay. But kids are the most vulnerable population on Earth. We all know that. Because it's true, it's our responsibility to go above and beyond to protect them in every way possible. So with the new information coming out and the fact that there are such huge implications for their long-term physical health, we do have a duty. And all of the focus is on the mental health implications. And that's great. I worked in mental health my entire adult life. I dedicated my education to helping people with their mental health because I wanted to help people. But I ended up getting multiple sclerosis and I'm on disability. I am a huge advocate for mental health, so don't take it out of context. But nobody focuses on the physical implications and consequences of childhood trauma. Until now.
Or if I'm talking about multiple sclerosis, cancer, rheumatoid arthritis, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, colitis, Crohn's disease, ALS, scleroderma, and as I said, malignancy as well. Now that seems like a very bold statement, but today I'll be concentrating on the physical side of it. When I say physical side, I'm talking about the illnesses that are not considered to be mental illnesses. I'll be saying to you that just about everything, not everything, but just about everything that we call illness is rooted in compensations and adaptations that have to do with childhood trauma.
Do I have your attention?
All of these things, and by meeting our fundamental needs of being seen, heard, connected with, supported, felt, all of these things literally build a sense of confidence to be present and, structurally help us develop our brain, develop a sense of worth and value But mostly it allows us a sense of being able to regulate and express our emotions. And without that, we get into a whole terrain of later in a childhood and adult life, a lot of like autoimmune disorders because of that level of suppression.
So parents, please, now is the time to act. Broken kids become broken adults unless we heal them to the best of our ability anyway. And yes, they can be healed. I really believe that. It is never too late to start implementing tactics, to utilize tools and resources to ensure that you're doing everything in your power to prevent your child a lifetime from a chronic illness.
And let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about it, because
talk about
there's
it.
so much more, research coming out about the fact that, hey, man, MS, they're seeing that it's kind of caused by the traumas, and they're seeing that, those of us that have it have certain personality traits.
So, what is it like? Will has an attachment disorder? Is it all that stuff? Fear of abandonment?
And it's like, I get so mad when I read this stuff, because I'm like, mother effer.
Yeah.
Like, why didn't someone help me out, man?
Yeah.
And
You want to talk about it? No. You see this? This is not your fault. It's not your fault. I know. It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
I promise this is not to place blame on any parent whose adult child, has a chronic illness. In all honesty, my worst fear is that my own parents are going to see this video and feel like they need to shoulder, or that they will shoulder some of the pain or the guilt because of this information. And it's not what I want. I don't even have kids. But I can't help but to wonder that if everybody in my circle when I was younger had access to this information, if they knew about this and knew some of the different things to look for, to think about in different terms, as far as not just the mental health, but physical things. If my life would be different now. And it might not be. That's the thing. This isn't if you do this, I promise you, your kids are not going to end up with a chronic illness. That's not how this works. And I'm giving this information so that you have the best odds of everything. As Christina Applegate said so emotionally in that clip, why didn't somebody help me out, man? And I can tell you for certain that anyone with a chronic illness in their adulthood that's listening to that podcast, such as with multiple sclerosis, they're thinking one of two things. They're thinking, I wonder if, or they're thinking, wow, that makes so much sense to me right now. Because when you have something as devastating as multiple sclerosis, you're always looking for an answer. You're always looking for why. I was so healthy and then I'm not. So if this video resonates with you, or you know somebody who it will, and help them, please like, share, subscribe, because in the next video, I am going to share some of the other things I've learned in this research about tactics you can try, you know, things to look for, resources, so that hopefully you don't have to put everything up to chance. If you feel comfortable enough, leave a comment and let me know what you think about this video. And until next time, it really does take a village.